So recently, the CEO of Nintendo, Furukawa, had this to say on Mario Kart World, and it's definitely really interesting. So he says that Mario Kart World is an important title, and he wants to expand the popularity of this game throughout the life cycle of the Nintendo Switch 2. He also goes on to say, going forward, we will continue to convey its appeal to consumers to expand the popularity as an evergreen title. Now, what exactly does this mean for this game? Let's get straight into it. Okay, so if we take a look at an evergreen title, there's definitely a lot of things that you could say as evergreen. The most notable one would be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That title is honestly evergreen as they come. It's still selling to this day after selling like over 80 million copies, which is definitely really crazy when it comes to think about it. Even in the past month, it sold over 500 copies. So honestly, that is really cool. What exactly could this mean for Mario Kart World? Well, first off, if you realize Mario Kart World isn't the most appealing game when it really comes to think about it. This game is $80 and you're getting less content than a game from like, what, 9-10 years ago? Which is kind of crazy when it comes to think about it. So the first thing that they would definitely need to add is more content to the base game. How exactly could they do this? Well, first off, seeing as Nintendo wants to make this an evergreen title, I honestly believe that half of these things that I'm about to say are probably going to be coming into the game at some point. First off, we can say the game modes from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or even Double Dash, where you had the Renegade Roundup game where half of you were cops and the others were bank robbers, and you go and essentially add that game mode. Just like they added Bomb Bomb Blast. So I honestly think that these modes are coming in the future, they just have to work out the time to slap it in the game, call it a day. We also have the Starshine game mode where you had to hold the Starshine for like a long time before you can win the game mode, so that definitely would be cool. And we could probably see other game modes as well. Now these ones are definitely really interesting and they could add them or they might not add them. The first thing that I really want to see is honestly Prop Hunt. This is a game that I have been talking for a long time. Like, I swear, every Mario Kart World video I make, it's always about Prop Hunt. But if you look at it, wouldn't Prop Hunt be cool? Where you're able to go to a bench, become the bench, and then like honestly that would work out. Because the open world aspect would really shine. So now, how would you convey the open world aspect of Mario Kart World? Pretty much the main gimmick here. Well, first off, you would probably add things to do in the open world. The number one thing that you should be able to do is honestly have something similar to Forza in some way, where there's some races and then there's players going around. Another way that you can do it is add some sort of garage in the game, like your own custom garage that you can customize to your heart's content. That would honestly make some sort of the open world kind of cool and kind of bearable to go around. And more events. Honestly, that'd be awesome. So with the garage aspect of this game, they could definitely implement that once you get a trophy, you can put the trophy down in your garage, you can make your cards or whatever the case may be in there. It would definitely be really cool. Another way they could do it is every week or every day, you get a special daily challenge that you have to do. Maybe it is go and find this specific item, or maybe it is go and defeat this character, or whatever the case may be. This would definitely be really interesting. So then, we could see something like this. There's definitely been one thing that I really love to see from games. It would just be some sort of, you use your coins and you get this specific thing. One game would be Astro's Playroom. If you remember, that's the like PlayStation 5 sort of demo game. And that game's really cool because you get the coins and you go to the vending machine and you use the vending machine and you get something random. I honestly wish that we'd see this in Mario Kart World. Adding 200cc would smooth out the game even further and allow players to get the absolute top speeds. Because honestly, maybe it would make the straightaways not so straightaways if you get speed included. Then the game would feel like a Fast and Furious movie instead of just going straight down the shopping mall cart with your pushing cart. Yep, that's the one. Also, for the base game, what you would need to add is honestly more things to do in like online play. Because one of the big appeals of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is honestly playing online, trying to become the very best. In Mario Kart World Online is definitely not very appealing. You got Knockout Tour, which is essentially the same thing as the main race mode, and then you don't even have like the 3-lap option to really test your skills like the original Mario Kart games for some reason, so you definitely need to add something like this. And once they have the base game all figured out, they can then add DLC. Because if you were going to do the prior, just add DLC before fixing the base game, this game would be $120. you would need the DLC to have the most fun. So when you go and pick up a Nintendo Switch 2 and then you pick up Mario Kart World, you pay $80 and then you pay another $40, which is $120 for this game, which then you would be like, why is this game $120? What am I getting out of this? I'm gonna just go and pick up Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This game is $60, and then there's like, what, a $30 DLC or something. That really gives me everything that I really want. So overall, that is definitely something that you would need to add. If they were gonna do DLC, I probably think that this is where it's going to be happening. They're going to add more tracks. Well, first off, that's great. We could see more tracks in Mario Kart World. Because the one big downside is Nintendo says that this game has 200 tracks. But really, half of those 200 tracks are actually just tracks that you move very, very straight in a straight line and keep going straight and keep going straight. But then with more tracks, you can implement other things. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be as many tracks as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Although that would be fantastic, it doesn't have to be exactly that. What they can just do is add, 60 tracks for now, DLC 1, and if they wanted to, keep making this an evergreen title, DLC 2.0 that you get for free if you bought DLC 1 in the base game. There you go, you got yourself awesome stuff. So first off, you can see something like Coconut Mall. You can see something like Daisy's Cruise Line. You can see other things like the other Rainbow Roads. And if you really wanted to be all connected into one sort of region, you would just be able to sail the 7 seas, go over to the special island that your DLC is on, and get going. For the Mario Kart Rainbow Roads, what you would need to do is either you get a cannon and it boosts you up there, or the Rainbow Road kind of comes down to the ground, or they can make another Rainbow Road that's very similar to this. For one of my favorite game modes, what they could easily do is just make it so you eat a tiny mushroom, or you go into the tiny vortex and it makes you go to the bathroom, like the ducky bathroom one. I honestly really do enjoy that game because it's just so unique. I believe it's called Keep It Clean or whatever the case may be. Overall, that is definitely really cool. See, there's definitely a lot of things that they could add to Mario Kart World, and I honestly think that this is exactly where Nintendo is going. Nintendo is going to update this game. Nintendo is going to add DLC in the future. Now, this could be for the Nintendo Direct. This could be sometime in the future. This could be whenever. But I honestly think that their main priority right now is to update Mario Kart World. Because I'm going to be honest, the only times that I really play Mario Kart World is either when we're doing some sort of like mini tournament, or maybe when my cousins, family, or friends come over and we're like, what game should we play? Even at that, and most of the time, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the one that goes into the Switch because that game really keeps you busy, really has a lot of tracks, pretty much has any tracks if you played Mario Kart Wii, if you played Mario Kart 64, if you played like all the other Mario Karts. These probably have a track that you'll really enjoy. In Mario Kart World, that is not the case. Like, you definitely have some great tracks, don't get me wrong, but it's not necessarily those titles, those tracks that everyone is used to, everyone's that accustomed to. I mean, besides Movement Meadows, I guess, but I feel like people don't like running into cows, like especially if you're playing with someone who has no idea how to hold a Nintendo remote. It's a little bit of an option here. But yeah, besides that, I honestly think that Nintendo is getting ready to update this game. If Furtakawa really wants this to be a Nintendo Switch 2 sort of life cycle game, well then you're definitely going to have to update Mario Kart World to become that evergreen title. You can't just release it, expect it to become an evergreen title, because right now, I'm gonna tell ya, if it were up to me, if I'm picking this as a party game, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Kart Wii, or Mario Kart World, it's probably not going to be World, let me tell you that. Overall, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that something like this is going to be happening or not at all? Do you think Nintendo is just trying to tell us that this isn't going to get updated anymore? Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope that you enjoyed. Consider it the like button, maybe subscribing if you're new. We do a bunch of different Nintendo content on this channel. Anyways, thank you so much. See you in the next one.